I'm going to show you how to succeed as an Outlaw Rogue in Season 4 of Dragonflight for Mythic Plus and Raiding, and I promise there's going to be no information overload if you are a beginner. Let's start off looking at the stat priority. Now, first and foremost, if you are a beginner, you really just want to focus on getting your eye level up, so a higher gear level, and that's going to come with more and more agility and other stats. If you would like to delve a little bit more into those secondary stats though, this is the priority order that I recommend for Outlaw Rogues. Versatility being one of the best, and this is going to mean that we do a little bit more damage and take a little bit less damage as well. It's a kind of all-rounder stat that generally you want a bit more of if you're doing Mythic Plus as well. Critical Strike, of course, increasing the chance that we do double damage with our attacks. Haste is actually going to increase your resource regeneration, and it's also going to increase how fast you attack as a rogue. And then Mastery is something that each class has, and as an Outlaw Rogue, our Mastery basically increases the damage that our finishing moves do. So as a rogue, we have combo point generators, generating combo points, and then we spend those combo points with a finisher, and Mastery is going to increase the damage of our finishers. Now, before we go into the rotation and the talents, etc., I just want to show you some of the core cooldowns that we have as Outlaw. And I'm not going to show you every single ability or cooldown or utility spell because it could be overwhelming, but what I do recommend is that once you're more comfortable with the spec and you've practiced it, that you do look through your talent tree and you do look through your spellbook at every single individual one and just see how they all interact together. But for the basis of this video, as a beginner, I'm just going to be showing you the really important ones that you need to know about. So at the top then, we've got Shadow Dance. Basically, when we go into stealth as a rogue, we're actually going to do more damage. And Shadow Dance lets you go into stealth in combat, which is fantastic. Vanish is also a very similar thing that kind of does the same thing on the bottom right here with that one. And then we've got some more utility-based cooldowns. Shroud of Concealment, again, stealth-based. For 15 seconds, you can actually cast a big circular area where your entire party can be in stealth with you. And this is great, especially in Mythic Plus, where you can sneak past groups of enemies, etc., that you don't want to pull or notice you. Cloak of Shadows, then, is going to give you immunity and it's going to remove any harmful magic effects on yourself. And Evasion is going to give you a 100% dodge chance for 10 seconds. These are more defensive skills. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's actually see how we're going to put it all together and what rotation we're going to be doing. We're going to start off with single target and raiding builds and then move on to Mythic Plus. This is the build we're going to be using for raiding. For both the M Plus and raiding build, there's a link down below so you can import it straight into your game. If you don't know how to do that, click this little arrow here and just press import, copy and paste the code that's in my description and name it whatever the hell you like, and that will import it straight into the game for you. So we're going to start off actually going through the abilities that we've got on this big bar here in the center. And I want to also divert your eyes to this here. This is, you may see some of the same abilities we're seeing on our action bar, but you can't click these, and that's because it's a weak aura. It's just a visual helper, if you will, and this is by Luxfos. I've put that in the description as well. If you need any help importing that or installing it, join the Discord where one of our friendly community members will help you. We've got 200 energy, that's our main resource, and you can see very faintly there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 little rectangles. These are our combo points. So if I go up to the target dummy and attack and use a spell, you can see, oh, I've used some energy and I've generated 2 combo points. Now I've generated another one, etc., etc. And then I can use a finisher, like Dispatch, to spend those combo points. And that's how the resource generation and usage works for a rogue. So on the left here, we've got Blade Flurry. It's going to strike up to 5 nearby enemies for some damage and cause our single target attacks to also strike up to 4 nearby enemies for 50% of the normal damage. Then we have Roll the Bones. And you can see here that I've rolled some dice on the ground, rolling the dice of fate, providing a random combat enhancement. And that's what this second bar is on our Luxfos weak aura. You can see AS and L, and that is Grand Melee. Damage is increased by 5%. Blade Flurry deals 10% additional damage to nearby enemies. You don't really need to remember at this point what every single one of these do. If you just use Roll the Bones on cooldown, you're going to be getting some cool combat enhancements, the end. Then we've got Adrenaline Rush. This is on a 3-minute cooldown, increasing your energy regen rate by 60%, your maximum energy by 50%, and your attack speed by 20% for 20 seconds. Then we've got Blade Rush. Charge your enemy with your blades out, dealing damage, and to all nearby enemies as well. While Blade Flurry, our first ability here, is active, damage to non-primary targets is increased as well. And this is going to generate some energy over 5 seconds for you. Then we've got Ghostly Strike here on 1.5-minute cooldown, striking an enemy, dealing damage and causing the target to take a 15% additional increased damage from your abilities, and that's also going to award a combo point. Then we've got Vanish and Shadow Dance, the two I already mentioned, allowing you to vanish from sight, entering stealth while in combat. For the first 3 seconds after vanishing, damage and harmful effects received will not break stealth, also breaks movement impairing effects. Shadow Dance allows the use of stealth abilities and grants all the combat benefits of stealth for 6 seconds, effects not broken from taking damage or attacking. Then we've got Slice and Dice. This is our first finishing move, and basically, if you use it when you've got 1 combo point, it's going to increase your attack speed for 12 seconds. If you use it at 2, 3, 4, etc., the more combo points you use on this finisher, the longer the duration of Slice and Dice, and therefore your increased attack speed will be. Then we have Dispatch. It's quite simply a finisher that deals a load of damage with the more combo points you use. Ambush looks similar, but it's not. It requires stealth, and you ambush the target, dealing damage. Has a 35% chance to hit an additional time, making your next pistol shot half cost half, that should be, and double damage. Awards 3 combo points each time it strikes. A pistol shot then is the next ability. Draw a concealed pistol and fire a quick shot at the enemy, dealing damage, also reducing their movement speed and reducing the target's damage done to us. And lastly, we've got Sinister Strike, which is going to viciously attack, and it has a chance to attack additional time, making your next pistol shot cost half and double damage. The only other ability which I couldn't fit onto the action bar, which I've now shoved in, is Between the Eyes. It's another finishing move we've got that deals damage with your pistol, increasing your critical strike chance by 20%, so it's going to increase your crit. So how is it all going to come together into a rotation? Well, let's just remember a few things first. We've got our combo point builders over here. We've got our cooldowns at the start, and you can interchange Shadow Dance and Vanish. Again, I just can't fit them all on there. And then we've got our finishers. So we've got our 3 finishers here. And then Ambush, which is actually a combo point generator as well. But remember, we can't use it unless we're in stealth. So a few things to remember. 1, Taken by Surprise and Night Stalker. While stealth is active, you do more damage. Haste is increased by 10% while stealthed and for 20 seconds after breaking stealth. And also, we're going to start our rotation in stealth, and we're going to then use some cooldowns. Please do note that Slice and Dice isn't going to lose duration when Blade Flurry is active. Blade Flurry won't when Adrenaline Rush is active, and Adrenaline Rush won't when you're stealthed. Meaning that when you're stealthed, your abilities technically aren't really going to fall off when you've put them up. Stealth abilities can be used for an additional 3 seconds after stealth breaks. So before we go into combat then, down here you may see the little potion thing. Poison. We're going to put instant poison on our weapon, which is going to give us an increased chance to do damage, extra damage basically. That'll stay on your weapon for an hour, so you don't really need to worry about it once it's on. We're then going to use our Blade Flurry. Then we're going to go into stealth, using our Roll the Bones to get the buffs, using our Adrenaline Rush, which will grant us a ton of combo points. Then what we're going to do is use Slice and Dice, and you can see it's not reducing because Blade Flurry is up. Then we're going to go in, ambush them, okay? Ambush is then going to generate 3 combo points each time it strikes. So we've got all those buffs up, and then we're going to go in and ambush the target. We're then going to use the other few of our cooldowns. So basically that is the opener. So to go over it again, we're going to use Blade Flurry, Roll the Bones, Adrenaline Rush, making sure we go into stealth after we cast Blade Flurry, not before. So use Blade Flurry, then into stealth, then Roll the Bones, then Adrenaline Rush, use your Slice and Dice, and then go into combat with Ambush. Okay? Then what we want to do is continue down this line. So once we've used the opener, the rotation still is that we use Blade Flurry as a top priority and keep it up, and then Roll the Bones, then Adrenaline Rush, then Blade Rush, and then Ghostly Strike. What we then want to do is go back into stealth with either Shadow Dance or Vanish. And if we've got 6 or more combo points like we have here, we're going to use Between the Eyes. The next priority is to keep up Slice and Dice. We can see here it's still up for 22 seconds, so we don't really need to use it again yet. Remember that between the eyes, it's going to increase your critical strike chance by 20 seconds, 20%. And the more points we use, the more damage and the longer it's going to be up for. Hence why we use it for 6 combo points and above. Then we're going to use, Vanish again to go back into stealth. We can, of course, use our Ambush as our main combo point gen when we are in stealth or when we've come out of stealth but can still use it. You can see it's now gone off because you could remember we can use abilities from stealth for a few seconds after we come out of stealth. Our main finisher then, if Between the Eyes is still up, and Slice and Dice is still up, which they're actually both not, but imagine they were. Our main finisher or our filler finisher is going to be Dispatch. So let's just recap that. Blade Flurry, top prio, then Roll the Bones, then Adrenaline Rush, then Blade Rush, then Ghostly Strike. Go back into stealth. Keep up Between the Eyes as much as possible. Keep up Slice and Dice as much as possible. Dispatch is your main filler finisher. Use Ambush whenever you can. Sinister Strike is going to be the main way that you are actually generating combo points, as you can see here. And you can see that sometimes when you use your Sinister Strike, it's going to actually proc something on your pistol shot. When you use that pistol shot that's procced, you can use your Ambush. So use Ambush whenever you can. Now, you may notice that when we get that proc and we use it, that our Sinister Strike turns into Ambush. So you may think, oh, I don't need Ambush on my bar then. Wrong, you do. Even though you can use it in that, remember that we can actually use Shadow Dance to also use Ambush, and Sinister Strike won't transform into it at that point. So it is still good to have it on your bar separately. So let's talk about this little proc that happened. We're going to fan the hammer. When Sinister Strike strikes an additional time, you gain 2 stacks of opportunity, max 6 stacks. Half cost uses of pistol shot consume 2 additional stacks of opportunity to fire 2 additional shots, and additional shots generate 1 fewer combo point and deal 20% reduced damage. So if I move myself out of the way, you can see here, when I use my Sinister Strike, I want to refresh so I can show you it. 3 stacks of opportunity. Your next pistol shot costs 50% less energy and deals more damage. We then use it and then we get our free Ambush. So again, let's just recap on what we're doing here. Starting from the opener, I usually don't go into openers too much regarding beginner guides because it can get a bit complex, but on Rogue, because of the stealth, you kind of really have to. So, I've gone into stealth and I shouldn't have. So remember, Blade Flurry and then into stealth. Roll the Bones, Adrenaline Rush, get your Slice and Dice up. Let's head in. You ambush the enemy, get up your combo points to 6 or 7, then go back into stealth and use Between the Eyes to increase our damage, etc. Remember that we're going to keep Slice and Dice up, so we're going to keep Between the Eyes and Slice and Dice up as much as possible. We've got 6 combo points, so we can use our Dispatch as our filler finisher, using Sinister Strike as our combo point generator, using our free pistol shots. They're not free, but, using our procced ones when we can, and that gives us a chance to get an Ambush, which obviously we're going to use. And then again, obviously Dispatch, once you're at 6 or 7 combo points, Dispatch is going to be your filler one if Slice and Dice and Between the Eyes is both up. There is a chance that you may not use your combo points when you use Between the Eyes. So again, we can then just go straight into Dispatch. So then the main rotation is to Blade Flurry, keep it up, Roll the Bones, keep it up, Blade Rush, keep it up, Ghostly Strike on cooldown, Shadow Dance or Vanish on cooldown to get into stealth so we can use Ambush, using Dispatch as the filler. Keep up Slice and Dice, which you can see I've still got 30 seconds on. Keep up your Between the Eyes. Use the pistol shot when it procs. Ambush whenever you can from that. You're going to get loads of combo points from that. Again, using Dispatch as our finisher, as our filler one. Free pistol shot, Ambush. And you can see how the rotation is starting to form here. And that is pretty much it. That is literally how you play it. Now, if you're wondering about the set bonus this season, the 2 set means that your Sinister Strike has an extra chance to hit. And the 4 set means that when you use Roll the Bones, it's actually got a chance of refreshing one of the buffs that Roll the Bones gives you. And that's pretty much it. It's a very passive set bonus that I have worked into this rotation when I'm showing you. Let's have a look quickly at the Mythic Plus rotation. TLDR, it's not really changing. It's one of the few specs where we're really not changing much for Mythic Plus. You can see here we've now got Death Maneuvers, where Blade Flurry's initial damage is increased by 100% and generates an extra combo point per target struck. Dancing Steel, Blade Flurry strikes 3 additional enemies and its duration is increased. And Precise Cuts, Blade Flurry damage is increased by an additional 2% per missing target below its maximum. So it'll do more damage the less targets it's on, technically. And that really is it. You do lose Blade Rush. You do lose that one when you go into the Mythic Plus build, that again is in the description. That's really it. Because of how Blade Flurry works, you know, it's striking up to 8 nearby enemies, generating combo points, and causing your single target attacks to also strike nearby enemies. It basically means that when Blade Flurry is up, all of your single target attacks are going to be doing AoE damage anyway, and therefore the rotation does not change, and we're quite lucky as an Outlaw Rogue in that respect. A lot of other classes and specs don't have that luxury. Speaking of other classes then, if you are looking for other specs, you can click here to see I've got all of the PvE specs for Season 4, and we also have PvP on my channel as well, so don't forget to check that out on my channel. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a thumbs up if you liked it, and feel free to join my Patreon as well if you would like, or the Discord where you can get extra help and behind-the-scenes tools and spreadsheets, etc. that could be really helpful on your WoW journey.